Today, on the 19th March 2026, everyone should remember this day in the history. Why? Because the government of Arunachal Pradesh has announced on 8th March saying they will conduct the PFR survey. So regarding the Siang Upper Multipurpose Dam, I came here in front of you all as a messenger on behalf of the people of the Siang Valley, as a messenger for the Adi people, and as a messenger for the elders, women, children, and youth alike from the Siang Valley. So for the past 1 year, you have been witnessing the news that says the villagers of the Siang Valley, one upon another, they are accepting the PFR MOUs in the Siang Gorge. If you see the timeline from 1980s, this Siang Dam issue has been raised in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. In the early days of 1980s, the Siang Dam Bachao Andalan, the BFCC, Brahmaputra Flood Control Board, identified this project, and they planned for this project. And in early 2000s, that is in 2005 and 2008, the then government started a rampant signing of MOUs with the companies. 65 hydropower companies were engaged with the government of Arunachal Pradesh, signing 145 MOUs for all the rivers in Arunachal Pradesh. That's when our Siang River was also mortgaged. Then in 2009, the UPA government proposed Siang Stage 1 and Stage 2, and the protest intensified. After the protest intensified, it was scrapped. Then later, in 2023, if you remember, in Tista, Sikkim, there was a major glacial lake outburst flood. And due to that, the 8 dams that is in the Tista River was damaged. And the major stakeholder was NHPC. So after 2003, they have been focusing on our Adi belt, that is the Siang River. And they have started this rampant MOU PFR signing and everything. So we, the people of Adi Valley, the Siang Valley, deny this MOU PFRs that is being done in the DC office or DC bungalow or the garage that is also on Sunday. Because the Constitution of India guarantees us protection under its law. Our customary village system, the Kabang, the traditional council, has more real powers when it comes to the land decision or the decision related with our ancestral properties such as land, rivers, mountains. The current MOU that the government is doing is not done in the proper manner. The MOUs that they are signing, calling 1 or 2 individuals in their office and signing off, that is constitutionally illegal and invalid. The proper system that the Article 371H and the Environmental Impact Assessment, as well as the Forest Right Acts and other many related laws, gives us the power to the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh that if the government wants to lease or construct or take the resources that is owned by the tribal communities, first of all, they have to come to the customary council. They have to ask the permission of the customary village elders, and they should convene a meeting in the customary community hall. And after that, they should call every villagers, young, old, youth, children, everyone alike in the village community hall, and then discuss the pros and cons about the project. And then later, after the village elders and the Kabang Abos gives their verdict saying that yes, we do accept the project, or no, we do not accept the project, then this proposal should be given to the administration, that is the DC, CO, ESC, and then they will forward it to the government of Arunachal Pradesh. That's how it should be done. But to see what is happening in the Siang Valley, it's very sad to see that our administration officers and our representatives they are using false and fraud means to get signatures, and then calling one or two individuals and signing MOU, and in media saying that the whole village have accepted the proposal for the MOUs of the PFR, which is unconstitutional. That is one point. And then if you see the dates of the MOU PFR that has been happening, the signing of MOUs in the Siang Valley, in the last 2025, May 23, the Pangkang, and after May, July, Riu, August, Riga, and then Bagung, and September, Parong, December, Komkar, and February 1, recently, 2026, they have started from February 1, the Rampant MOU PFR signing with the villagers, calling multiple villages in the DC conference hall or DC bungalow and the garage, that is on Sunday, and signing the MOU PFR. Rampant, for example, from February 1 to continuously till today, March 19th, they have been signing with multiple villages. So if you see the last year's record, they were signing the MOUs like in couple of months, in 2 months, one village, in 1 month, one village, like that. But since the March ending is coming, so before the March ends, they want to cover all the MOU PFRs using every means possible that the human can use. Our CM Pema Khandu says, हम लोग तो आपको पैसा देकर इलेक्शन जीता है, तो हम अपना रिकवरी पहले करेगा, डेवलपमेंट क्यों करेगा? किरण रिजिजू सेज, अगर हम लोग डिक्टेटर होने से कब का सियांग डैम बन चुका होना था. ओजिंग तसिंग सेज, बीजेपी पार्टी को वोट नहीं देने से डेवलपमेंट वो सेगमेंट में हम लोग नहीं कराएगा. And recently Ojing Tasing said, all the signatories of the MOUs that is being signed in the Siang Valley are irrevocable. That means even if the villagers, after signing of agreement, when they feel it's wrong and they try to revert it back, it cannot be irreversible. It's not possible. And then Ojing Tasing also says that some people in the Siang Valley are going around in the villages and doing this mass public petition. He's saying some vested interest people. So remember, all the people of Arunachal Pradesh, who are the vested interest people? Who are the outsiders? Am I the outsiders? Does a engineering graduate, environmental engineering graduate, doing his duty as a son of the Abor soil, going around the villages and giving them technical awareness as well as the judiciary law awareness about the legalities of this environmental impacts of this project? Am I outsider? Am I a person with vested interest? You have to question that. I think the people who fit in this vested interest and outsider terms are NHPC, Setlus Jal Vidyut Nigam, Tehri Dam Hydropower Corporation, and if not, for the Siang Valley, Pema Khandu is also an outsider, Chaunamen is also an outsider. So they're coming to our place and dictating us about development. With the hundreds of graduates from the Siang Valley, still considering those people as people with good intention, that has to be questioned. And Mr. Onupanyang says, हमारा अरुणाचल का जितना जमीन नदी जंगल है सब अरुणाचल इंडिया का प्रेसिडेंट का है. I don't think he's an educated person to give a statement like that in a press conference. It's a foolish statement that he gave, Onupanyang. It is clearly said in Article 371H that there's a special provision given to the governor of Arunachal Pradesh. It's a special protection to the people of Arunachal Pradesh, all the Tani tribes, all the Buddhist tribes, and all the Naga tribes residing in the Nefa, Eastern Royal Nefa. 371H guarantees, gives a special guardianship role to the governor of Arunachal Pradesh, that if there's a problem with the people, the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh, the 26 tribes, you have to listen to them. If the legislature and executive and the judiciary, that is the CM, MLAs, and bureaucrats don't listen to the people, then governor, you should listen to the people's voice. If the people come to you with the mass representation, you should look at the matter. That is what it says. And governors under the president. So, Onupanyang, when you say that all the Zameen, Pahar, Nangal, Jungle, Nadi is President ka hai, you're wrong, brother. Ye Pahar, Nadi, Jungle sab hamara hai. India got independence in 1947. India was under the British rule for 250 years. Before that, we, the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh, were residing in these valleys, in Kameng, Subansiri, Lohit, Dibang, Siang. So we were already here, living. We were a buffer zone between the two great powers, the Britain and the Russians. During the Cold War, both of them tried to interfere in our territory, but we protected it. We not, our forefathers. The Abor people have protected our Abor Valley for 250 years against the Britishers. Before that, 400 years against the Assamese kingdoms. That's the reason we are called Abor. Abor means uncontrollable and independent people, whom the Britishers as well as Ahom King tried to control. So that's why, Onupanyang, when you say, ye zameen sab president ka hai, aap galat hai. And Pema Khandu again says that, time and again, every time, all the government employees, no one will speak against the government policy programs, whether it is right or wrong, or else you will face the consequences. Remember, APCS, Arunachal Pradesh Public Service Commission, it is public service. UPCS, Union Public Service Commission, it is public servant. It is not government servant. So it's a message to the bureaucrats. It's a message to all the CO, DC, ESC, IS, retired secretary, everyone. You are not government servant. You are public servant. So please represent the public. Please represent the public's voice. So Pema Khandu, when you say that those government employees speaking against the Siang Dam, even the Gamburas, in the Riu Riga area, our villages, 8 of the Gamburas were, restricted. They were suspended. Why? Because they were speaking for the land. They were not speaking against them. They were speaking for the land because that land was being protected and it was held down by our forefathers for thousands of years. So that's the reason they were suspended. So Pema Khandu, when you say that, when you say any government employee, if you speak against the government, you will face consequence. We are not afraid of that consequence. Remember that. And Alo Libang recently said that outsiders aake signature kar rahe hain. And he doesn't even know how to spell PFR. He has said PFR. What is PFR? I don't know. So when Alo Libang says that some outsiders are coming in the Siang Valley and doing the campaign for mass petition against the PFR or pro-land, pro-forest, those are outsiders. Alo Libang, I want to say to you, the only people that fits in these terms are, once again, I want to say to Ojing Tasing and Alo Libang, the NHPC, National Hydropower Corporation, the big hydropower lobbies, the Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam, and then Tehri Hydropower Corporation, and 60 other hydropower companies who have vested interest from 2003 till now. They are participating in every election we have, be it Panchayat election, be it the MLA election, be it MP election. They have been, in the deep political scenario of Arunachal Pradesh. Those are the outsiders. I'm not an outsider. If you want, I can tell you my forefathers. From the LAC, that is the Geling. Geling is the border of Arunachal Pradesh in the Siang Gorge. Beyond Geling is Tibetan border, Chinese area. That's where my forefathers started migrating. Dimbu ago, Dale ago, Nugong ago, Jere ago. After that, Osomekok, and then our Polo Yorba. Polo Yorba is Geling. These are the places my forefathers stayed for the past 2,000 years. From Osomekok, again, Polo Yorba, my forefathers stayed in Mongkur Kumting, that is present Norbuling area. From there, my forefathers traveled down to the Tuting, Godinying, in Adi we call Godinying. After that, we stayed in Nigong, Siropata. After that, we stayed in Palsi. After that, we stayed in Janbo Nige. From Janbo Nige, Molun Kumting, and then we reached Jenging, present Doksing Kumting and Jalak Kumting. From Jalak Kumting, we crossed the Siang River. And then we stayed in Rana Ratak. Rana Ratak is in present Geku. From Geku, again, we crossed the mountain into the Siat Valley. From the Siat, we came to Adipasi, Yamna Valley. From the Yamna Siat Valley, again, we crossed the mountain and reached Pasigat. And today, I'm the 37th generation. Kayum yumkang kasi sian abo bomuk mukseng sedi diling litung tuya yepe pedong. Doni nidum dumda dapung. Pusi sian abo bomuk boke keno noling lipak. Pangmin munbe beka kamuk mubang batong tongkeng kamut mutkot potpan pansur suro ke roton paton. My name is Katon. I'm the 37th generation. My forefathers have lived in the Siang Valley. So the whole Siang Valley is a cultural heritage site for me. So you guys, couple of individuals signing with the government about the selling of land, it doesn't justify. I have lived there. My forefathers have lived there. My forefathers have ate the food from the Siang Valley. My forefathers have drank the water from the Siang Valley. So even a single village doesn't have the right to give the MOU PFR. So ultimately, you all have to come to the Adi Bana decision, not the Adi Bana Kabang, the present Adi Bana Kabang. I'm not talking about that. When we say Adi Bana, all the people of Adi tribe, that is near about this year, the census will happen. On my calculation, according to electoral roll, our population is 230,000. It will reach maybe 250,000. So the Siang belongs to all the Adi people, 250,000 approximately Adi people. So if you want to do anything with the Siang, you have to take consensus from every individual, even if they are staying in America, Europe, India, Pasigat, Itanagar, or the Siang Valley itself. So you have to take the permission from all of them. So a couple of individuals going to the office and signing, that doesn't justify. And then Mr. Tapudarang, you say that हम लोग को तो सीएम साहब और डीसीएम साहब को पूजा करना चाहिए, वो लोग को प्रे करना चाहिए, वो हम लोग के लिए भगवान जैसा है. वो दोनों ने होने से हम लोग को कहां से सब्सिडी प्रोजेक्ट टेंडर मिलेगा? प्रोजेक्ट ही नहीं है, हम लोग का स्टेट इतना गरीब है, हम लोग के पास सोर्स ऑफ इनकम नहीं है. यू आर वेरी रॉन्ग, Tapudarang, you are wrong. We are a self-independent state. Currently, if you visit the village people don't spend even 10 rupees and spend whole year without spending a money. So that's the independency level that we have. Just for an example, take European countries. France is surrounded by Switzerland, Germany, Spain, Portugal, in and around, north, east, west, south. Every border is open. That's why the France is developed. That's why the France is progressing. That's why the France have good GDP and per capita income. What is the situation with Arunachal Pradesh? North, east, west, south. Are we able to move? Are we able to communicate? Are we able to do business with our neighbors? No, we are not allowed. That's the big question. You need to ask the administration as well as the bureaucrats and our representatives. Ask yourself, can we do trade with Myanmar? Can we do trade with Bhutan? Can we do trade with our northern neighbor, so-called Tibet or China? Can we do that? Ask yourself. You know the fact that China is the #1 economy currently in the world, technology-wise, industry-wise, everything. So can't we take help from them so that the economy of Arunachal can grow? I'm not talking about integrating with them. So remember, Tapudarang, when you say we are a poor state, no, we are not poor state. We have our own USP. We have agri, horticulture. We have our forest products. We have a lot of our natural resources that can be used so that our people can live a better life. For example, today, if something happens with the Assamese drivers, there's Assamban. When there's Assamban, we cannot breathe. We are landlocked. We are trapped like a mouse in a rat. So we don't want to be like that. So it's a request to our representative in the union government as well as state government. Please look into this matter. And Tapudarang, when you say this, you're wrong. If our leaders have a vision, if our leaders have a, futuristic vision for our society, then it is possible for our tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh to move along with the global citizens, with the global world. Again, these are the MLA's statement that were given to us during this Siangdam campaign. And then, as you all know that Article 371 BEFR, Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act, that was in 1873, that our forefathers had an agreement with the Britishers, and then they made this inner line permit and outer line permit in the present Treaty of Lalimuk. Lalimuk is nearby Ruksin. In 1862, when the British Army came with their army in the Lalimuk, the Siang and Lalimuk River confluence, there was a meeting between the Abor elders, Kabang Abus, and the British administrators, the DC of Lakhimpur, the assistant political officer from Sadia, and the political officers from Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. Everyone came to the Lalimuk, and then there was a treaty between the Abors and the British government. And in the treaty, our forefathers have clearly demanded the Britishers that you cannot come into our territory and take our resources. So our history goes back to more than 250 years when our forefathers had interacted with the Britishers and then clearly said that outsiders cannot come and do business in our territory, cannot extract our resources, cannot exploit our tribal livelihood. So that's when we got in 1873. It was a clear constitutional amendment passed in the British Parliament saying BEFR, Bengal Eastern Regulation for Frontier Regulation Act. According to that, still today, we have ILP system. So it is a request to all the authorities and the policymakers, let's make this ILP stronger so that our people does not lag behind. And FRA Act 2006, Forest Right Act 2006, it recognizes the forest right of the indigenous people, as well as it gives power to the FRA, Forest Right Act 2006, gives power to the Gram members and the traditional institutions such as the village council. In Adi we call Kabang. So anything related with the Bana Kabang, that is the community ancestral land, if the government or the hydropower companies or any private company want to lease our land, want to use our rivers, then they have to come to the Gram Sabha. They have to come to the PRI institution, Panchayati Raj institution. They have to come to the village councils and then discuss pros and cons, and then decide. So on this day, in front of the Arunachal Press Club, I want to declare, we the people of Siang Valley call ourselves Abor, Adi. Every village in this valley is a republic of its own. The land, forests, farms, rivers, mountains are owned by the community around the villages. They are traditionally community's ancestral property handed down through countless generations. Each republic has its own customary traditional council called Kabang, where it decides about the law of the land, river, mountains, forests, farmlands, with the inclusion of villagers such as elders, women, youth, children, everyone alike. So today, I want to state clearly to the government of India as well as government of Arunachal Pradesh, before entering into agreement with any of the lands and rivers and mountains in our traditional customary region, please convene a meeting with the traditional council called Kabang in our traditional council hall called Dere, and then decide if the people want or not. Don't jump the ladder. Don't directly go to the administrative level, calling individuals and youth leaders into your office and signing MOUs, giving them bribe, 250,000. I've heard 20 lakhs also, 250,000 as well as 6 lakhs. And the poor chaps of our Siang Valley are sometimes given 6,000 rupees for per signature. So up till now, if you see the timeline of the Siang Dam, last year in 2025, in May 23, the government of India as well as Arunachal Pradesh brought a drilling machine in the bugging site. So it was the biggest question in our heart that without the consent of the Abor people, without the consent of the Adi people, how can you bring the drilling machine and start drilling? First, you have to ask before even disturbing the soil or the river. So that's the day when I entered into this issue. And then that's the day I got recognized in my community. Since I'm an environmental engineer, my subject specializes in water resource management, as well as soil and air pollution, as well as how to mitigate with the environmental impacts and how to give a sustainable solution to the government if it involves our environment, tribal livelihood, indigenous peoples, socio and economic livelihood. So last year when they were doing the national security and water bomb chanting, going around the villages and saying that if the China builds this much a dam, then it will be a water bomb, it will be of a national security. So to counter that, I went to the 54 villages in 77 days. For 3 months, I was there in the Siang Valley as an environmental engineer and the son of the soil. I went and did my technical awareness campaign in all these villages in the Dere community hall. And I explained to the villagers about pros and cons of the dam, particularly of the Siang Dam and the Siang Gorge. And then they understood. If you see, the Tibetan Plateau is at level of 5,000 to 4,000 meters. That's where from the Angsi Glacier, the Brahmaputra starts. starts. It's called Yarlung Changpo. The total discharge in Tibetan Plateau is just 2,900 cumax, that is cubic meter per second. That's the discharge of the Siang in the Tibetan Plateau. After that, when it enters our Adi area, that is in Geling, that's when the volume of the water increases. So there's no question of water bomb and national security when it comes to the volume of water, because 80% of the water is given by our Arunachal Pradesh, namely the tributaries Subansiri, Kameng, Lohit, Dimang, Manas. All these rivers are the major contributors to the volume of the water in Siang. So when you speak about water bomb, it needs volume. So volume comes from our area. So the Siang River, when it enters Geling, it is just 2,900 cumax. And then in Arunachal Pradesh, that is in our Upper Siang, Siang, as well as East Siang district, the volume of the water increases. When it reaches the plains of the Assam, it is 19,000 cumax. That is the 80% of the volume of the discharge. And after that, when it enters Bangladesh in Bahadurabad, it is just 6 to 8% of the volume of the water that comes from the Bangladesh, because there's no water catchment area. So that's the reason our eastern Himalayas, particularly from the Bhutan to Burma border, the land between these are our greatest asset for the people of Arunachal Pradesh. Our horticulture, agriculture, even the water resource, everything, rare earths, everything. We have the best lands possible that we have. So we have to protect it from these greedy corporates. So last time when I did this technical awareness campaign and the villagers understood and it was successful, until today, no government officials or no legislators mention about national security and water bombs. Today in this day, 2026, they are speaking about MOU PFR. They are saying, let us do the PFR. PFR is nothing. Even if the PFR is done, dam won't be constructed because we will have a public hearing. Remember, if these people can lie to our face in the media, in the public platform speech, then this statement, when they say that PFR is nothing, it's a lie. So PFR is like the cancer stage 3. When there's a cancer in a person, stage 3, you cannot do anything. Even if you eat medicine, it cannot go back. You cannot defeat the disease. So PFR is cancer stage 3 in the Siang Dam issue. So right now the Siang Dam is in cancer stage 1. That is, it is preventable. If you eat good medicine, if you eat good food and do exercise, you can prevent it. You get what I mean? I mean that there's multiple steps when it comes to the construction of dams, tunnels, and mega projects with the consent of the environmental engineer. So what happens? Number one is identification of the project that was done in 1980s by the BFCC, Brahmaputra Flood Control Board, and NHPC. So after the identification of the project, the next stage comes is PMC, that is project management consultation. So the government looks for a company that can, manage and do all this preparation for them. So in that also there's a lot of lobbies. After PMC, the project management consultation, then comes the second stage that is called PFR, pre-feasibility report. Right now we are in PMC. PFR is not done yet, so it's preventable. Even then I will explain to you, after PFR, then it comes EPC or DPR. After PFR, DPR comes. DPR is detailed project report. That's when they will create the physical, technicalities, data and everything. After the DPR, there's EPC, that is equipment, procurement, and construction. That's when the big lobbies, the European companies, American companies, Russian companies will come and, participate in this tender bidding, and they will be here. After EPC, that is equipment, procurement, and construction, there will be O&M, overhauling and maintenance. It will also be given to some international companies, because I can vouch for that. In India, there's not even a single company that can make a 10,000 megawatt dam. Even if the government gets the permission from the tribal people, they will always give this project to the outsider companies. It won't be done by the Indian companies. So after the O&M, that is overhauling and maintenance, the next stage comes is transmission and distribution. That's when the electrical lobbies, big lobbies for wiring, tower, steel tower, maintenance, everyone will come. It also conquers huge amount of money. After transmission and distribution, that's when, again, next stage comes is the leasing of the dam. Then they will lease the dam to some other companies. After leasing of the dam, the next stage comes is if God forbid, if there's an earthquake, if there's a decommissioning of the dam after 100 years. So these are the stage of the dam. So we are in the initial stage of the dam. It is preventable. If the community doesn't accept government, you should also listen to the community's voice. Don't use fraud means to get your consent from the people. So in this all O&M, T&D, transmission distribution, equipment procurement, and overhauling and maintenance, all this will include big companies, and Asian Development Bank, international banks are ready to finance this project because it's a huge project. And if the international companies and international banks participate here, then they will be bribing our government. So that is what our government is looking for. It's a mega project, so mega bribe, mega money. So that's what they're looking for. That's the truth. Last year, after 77 days and 54 villages awareness campaign, everything was okay, and then it was going smooth. Then this year, they have started this rampant MOU PFR signing with the government of Arunachal Pradesh, calling the villagers, And then this year, from the month of February 28th, I've started this campaign, signature petition campaign, mass signature petition campaign, going each and every villages in the Siang Valley, and speaking with the people, calling the elders and children and women, everyone, and speaking with them and taking their consent. And these are the consent that I have collected. These are the consent that I've collected, and I've submitted this representation, mass public petition, to the Chief Minister's office, to the Chief Secretary of Arunachal Pradesh, to the Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, as well as to the Deputy Commissioner of Upper Siang, to the Deputy Commissioner of Siang, to the Superintendent of Police of Siang, as well as Upper Siang. I have given all this to them. Since Ojing Tasing has announced from the March 8th, they will start the PFR activities. So PFR is what? Pre-feasibility report. You need to go to the site, do the drilling, do the data collection, do your mathematics. So until and unless you don't have the consent of the people, how can you start the pre-feasibility report? How are you so confident about it? So remember, if the Constitution of India that protects our tribal identity and tribal laws doesn't protect us, then we have to summon our Adi tribal laws. That was before India. Before India, for 2,000 years, we have been living in this valley. So we have our own institutions, such as community hall, Dere, Musuk, Raseng. We have our own Kabang, that is court system. So we will have to resort to our own ways